happens every trip. Someone makes a tiny mistake that costs thousands. One open valve, one gust of wind, one wrong cable, and your motorhome turns into a repair bill. The truth? Most RV disasters aren't bad luck. They're bad habits. Insurance won't help, warranties won't cover it. These are the mistakes every owner makes once, and never again. If you own a motorhome, you need to see this before your next drive, because one of these mistakes could already be happening. Ignoring your weight ratings. There is a hidden number stamped on every motorhome that decides how long it lives. It is not your horsepower, not your fuel economy, not even your odometer. It is the weight rating, the one most owners glance at once and never think about again. That single figure separates safe miles from expensive breakdowns. Once you cross it, every part of your rig begins to pay the price. The frame starts first. Each weld flexes under pressure that metal was never meant to carry. Tires run hotter, bearings grind harder. A few hundred pounds might not sound like much, but on the highway it multiplies with every bump and every corner. A suspension designed for 11,900 pounds can hit stress levels closer to 13,000 before you even notice. The steering begins to feel light, the braking distance grows by 102 feet, and the whole vehicle starts fighting itself. Now here's the part few owners realize. Insurance adjusters check those numbers after a claim. If the record shows you were overweight, the payout can vanish instantly. A cracked axle or bent hitch from excess load is considered negligence. Repairing that axle can run between $4,000 and $809,000 and $200, depending on the chassis and labor rate. None of it is covered. The simple fix is discipline. Stop at a certified truck scale. Most major fuel stops have one. Weigh the entire unit loaded, then weigh each axle. It costs less than $20, and it tells you exactly where you stand. If one side is heavier, shift your storage, drain your water tanks, move your gear until the load balances. A single pass across that scale can save you a full transmission rebuild down the road. One couple learned the hard way. Their Class C rig carried a washer, a generator, 2 full bikes, and a storage rack. By the time they reached Arizona, the rear leaf springs had flattened. The shop bill was $6,475, all for a mistake measured in cargo weight. They never ignored that number again. Think of your rig like a bridge. Every bridge has a limit, and once you go past it, the cracks stay even if you lighten the load later. Staying within that rating protects your wallet and your road time. Check your weight before every trip. Write it down. Respect it like a rule carved into steel. Because ignoring your weight rating does not just shorten the life of your motorhome. It shortens the distance between freedom and failure. Leaving the awning out unattended. It usually begins with silence. A still afternoon, a bright sky, the soft shade stretching from your shade. Almost without warning, the wind shifts. You hear a snap, a groan of aluminum, and before you reach the door, your awning has turned itself into a twisted sail. What cost you $1,800 now lies bent across your campsite. Leaving the awning out unattended is not harmless convenience. It is one of the most expensive habits in motorhome life. One gust at 20 miles per hour can generate enough lift to bend both arms. Add rain pooling on the fabric, and that force doubles. The hardware is built for shade, not storms. Once the frame warps, replacement becomes inevitable. Recent parts bulletins list full arm assemblies at $750 each before shipping or labor. With 2 arms, brackets, and tension hardware, the repair quickly climbs past $1,942. Most owners assume insurance will handle it. The reality is sharper. Adjusters mark owner negligence on nearly every awning claim. If you left it open while away, the coverage disappears. Shops report that 8 out of 10 replacements are paid entirely out of pocket. That is an expensive reminder that prevention costs nothing. Here is the smarter rhythm. If you leave the site, retract the awning every single time. If the forecast shows gusts over 15 miles per hour, pull it in before you sleep. Secure the support arms, check the mounts, and listen for strain when extending. Treat it like a delicate hinge, not a permanent porch. I once watched a retired couple in Texas learn this lesson the hard way. They had stepped inside for lunch. 10 minutes later, a desert crosswind lifted their fabric straight over the roof. The arms snapped, The roller bent, and the entire assembly had to be removed. Their bill came to $2,078. The awning had survived 6 years. It was destroyed in 6 seconds. An awning is more than fabric. It is your comfort zone in camp, your shelter from sun and drizzle, but it demands respect. Use tie-down straps if you must stay outside during a breeze, yet never trust the weather app alone. Nature moves faster than forecasts, so when the air grows restless and the leaves start whispering, listen, bring it in, lock it down, then enjoy the peace of knowing you just saved yourself another unnecessary repair. Because in motorhome life, the difference between smart and sorry is often measured in wind and in seconds. Before we keep moving down this list, take a second to like this video and subscribe. It helps more owners find these warnings before they make the same costly mistakes, and it tells us to keep digging for the truth. Overloading the roof. Look up for a moment. That flat stretch of fiberglass above you looks strong, simple, and harmless, but the roof of your motorhome is not a deck. It is a boundary, thin, engineered, and already working at its limit. Every pound you place up there steals life from the structure beneath. Solar panels, cargo pods, kayaks, spare tires, they all add up. Bit by bit, they bend what was designed to stay level. A standard Class C roof can handle roughly 350 pounds, spread evenly, yet owners keep stacking until the load passes 500. That extra 150 pounds may not seem severe, but over time, it creates sag. Even a drop of 1/2 inch can pull the seals at each edge. Once that happens, rain finds the path. Water moves faster than gravity. It slips under caulking, settles in insulation, and starts its quiet work of decay. Roof failure does not announce itself with a loud crack. It begins with a soft bubble under the rubber membrane, a slight flex when you step near the vent. By the time you notice, the damage has already spread like rust. Replacing a full roof runs between $6,000 and $207,800. Warranties vanish once an inspector spots aftermarket mounts or excess weight. Manufacturers document this clearly, but few owners ever read the small print. Think about your accessories. A single solar panel weighs 32 pounds. 2 kayaks can add 110. A cargo box with gear can add another 90. That is 232 pounds before a single raindrop or gust of wind joins the equation. Add motion, vibration, and heat expansion, and the roof begins to flex like a trampoline. The smart habit is a roof inspection every season. Walk it slowly. Press gently around vents and skylights. If it feels spongy, you are late. Keep a record of what you add. If you install panels, mount them with aluminum rails, never directly on the skin. Spread the weight wide and seal each bolt twice, once under the plate, once on top. One family in Oregon learned the cost of ignoring that rule. Their roof sagged enough to trap rainwater near the rear cap. The standing water leaked through a light fixture, shorted the wiring, and cost them $6,600 in repairs. A roof is not a shelf. It is a shield. Treat it as such. Because when weight wins, water follows, and nothing empties a wallet faster than a roof that gives up silently. Plugging in without a surge protector. It happens the moment you hook up power, that quiet click of the pedestal breaker, the hum of air conditioning, the comfort of lights turning on. Everything feels normal. But inside that unseen current, a single surge can end a motorhome faster than a storm ever could. Plugging in without a surge protector is not a risk. It is a guarantee that sooner or later you will pay for it. Most campgrounds run on aging systems. Some outlets date back 20 or even 30 years. Wires corrode, breakers loosen, and neutral lines slip. When that happens, voltage spikes or drops in the blink of an eye. One outlet might deliver 140 volts. The one beside it might fall to 98. Both can destroy electronics in seconds. A surge does not explode like lightning. It whispers through circuits. The refrigerator flickers. The converter warms. A faint smell of insulation drifts through the cabin. By the time you notice, the damage has already begun. Shops report repairs for burned inverters running from $3,200 up to $3,600. Add a control board for the refrigerator at $500, a microwave at $270, and labor on top. That small mistake just passed $4,300. Manufacturers know this. Warranties specifically exclude external power irregularities. That line alone ends most claims. Without proof of protection, the responsibility lands squarely on the owner. The solution costs less than a tank of fuel. A quality surge protector runs around $129. Plug it into the pedestal first. Let it test the voltage before your rig ever connects. If the display shows a fault, walk away. Find another pedestal or call the park office. Never, under any condition, bypass the warning light. Technicians recommend using a device with automatic shutoff and Bluetooth monitoring. It cuts power the instant voltage leaves the safe zone, saving every board and appliance behind it. One owner in Missouri learned that lesson during a thunderstorm. Lightning struck near the campground. The surge protector sacrificed itself, burned internally, and saved every appliance in his coach. His replacement cost was $129. His neighbor without one lost an inverter, a refrigerator, and a converter. Total cost $4,175. Electricity is silent, invisible, and unforgiving. You will never see it coming, but you can always stop it before it reaches you. So before the next trip, make this rule permanent. Power off, protector first, then plug in. Because peace of mind should never depend on luck. It should depend on preparation. If you want to stay ahead of every repair trap and never get blindsided by preventable damage, hit subscribe now. Each week, we uncover real-world lessons that save you time, money, and the one thing dealers never protect: your confidence. Driving with propane on. Picture this. You are rolling down the highway, the air smooth, the road steady, the refrigerator humming behind you. It feels safe, it feels efficient. But what most drivers forget is that every flicker of that flame inside the fridge is an open fire. One sitting a few feet above a tank holding pressurized gas. Driving with propane on is not convenience. It is risk disguised as routine. Propane systems are designed for stability when parked. The moment you start moving, vibration changes the equation. Fittings shift, valves rattle, and lines flex. One loose connector is all it takes. A tiny leak, smaller than the width of a fingernail, can fill an enclosed compartment within minutes. Add road friction, engine heat, or a static spark from refueling, and that invisible gas turns deadly. National safety records show an average of 24 propane-related motorhome fires every year. Investigators trace most of them to travel days. Burners left running to keep food cold or water hot. One ignition, one ember, and the results are irreversible. Entire rigs valued at $90,000 or more reduced to ash within minutes. Worse, insurance investigators often label these cases improper operation. That phrase alone cancels coverage. Owners walk away with nothing but a burnt shell and a denied claim. There is a better way. Shut every valve before you drive. Let the refrigerator coast on thermal mass. It stays cold for several hours without flame. Use cold packs, keep the door sealed, and plan your stops. For longer hauls, plug in at rest areas or use generator power once parked safely. Those simple habits turn potential disasters into non-events. Technicians stress one rule above all: never refuel with propane valves open. Gasoline vapors and open propane systems do not mix. Even a static spark from your hand can ignite both. Station attendants know this. It is why tunnel and ferry crossings require all propane to be closed. Yet every week, someone ignores the sign and risks everything for a few chilled drinks. I once spoke with a driver who learned this lesson on a mountain pass. His refrigerator flame blew out mid-climb. The gas kept flowing. Hours later, when he stopped, he struck a lighter to check something near the rear vent. The flash burned off his eyebrows and melted the siding. The repair estimate came back at $11,460, all from a valve left open. Propane demands respect because it never forgives a shortcut. One open valve on the road can turn routine travel into disaster within seconds. Discipline here is not caution, it is survival. Shut it, verify it, and drive knowing safety rides with you. Propane is power, but it demands respect. Treat it like you would a loaded weapon, safe only when handled correctly and always turned off before motion. Because one open flame on the move is not comfort, it is a countdown. Leaving your tanks open. It always begins as an attempt to make life easier. You pull into the campground, hook up the sewer hose, open the valves, and think, now I will never have to dump again. It feels tidy, efficient, hands-off. But leaving your tanks open is not maintenance. It is mechanical sabotage in slow motion. Inside every holding tank, liquid and waste are supposed to travel together. Water carries solids, keeping everything suspended until you release it in one controlled flush. When the valve stays open, the water escapes first, leaving the heavy waste behind. Piece by piece, it builds a hardened mound near the outlet. The industry calls it the pyramid, an ugly, foul tower that blocks flow and traps odor. Once it forms, gravity alone will not save you. Technicians charge between $600 and $1,200 to clear a compacted tank. The job involves back-flushing, hydrojetting, and often replacing the gate valve. It is messy, slow, and never guaranteed. Some owners have to replace the entire tank, a part that can cost another $750 just to order. Worse yet, sensors coated with buildup will start to lie, showing full even when empty. Gray tanks suffer differently. Soap scum, food grease, and bacteria cling to the sides. Without standing water, the residue hardens. Over time, the odor seeps through the vent, curling into every corner of your motorhome. Dealers dock trade-in value by as much as 10% once that smell appears. They know the buyer will have to clean what cannot be seen. So here is the right rhythm. Keep your valves closed until the tank is at least 2/3 full. Then, when you dump, the rush of water clears the line in one strong pull. Afterward, fill the bottom with a few gallons of clean water and a treatment designed to break down residue. Think of it as resetting the system. Water is not waste, water is armor. I remember one traveler in Florida who ignored this advice. He left both valves open for an entire month. By the end of the season, the black tank outlet was sealed shut by a mound of solid waste that no flush could move. The shop bill came to $864, and the smell stayed for weeks. The truth about holding tanks is that they reflect your habits. A clean system means discipline. A clogged one tells another story. That simple choice, keeping valves closed until full, separates those who maintain control from those who spend weekends paying for preventable mistakes. A holding tank is a simple design, but it demands discipline. Keep it closed, keep it clean, and it will serve you for years. Because in a motorhome, comfort depends on control, and control begins with a single handle kept firmly shut. Skipping the final walk-around. Departure days always look the same. The sun rising through the windshield, the checklist nearly done, the excitement of a new road ahead. But right there, in that rush to leave, hides the most expensive minute you will ever skip. Skipping the final walk-around is not forgetfulness. It is an invitation for damage, loss, and regret that can follow you for miles. Every trip begins with movement, and movement punishes anything left unsecured. A power cord dragging behind the bumper can grind through asphalt in less than 1 mile. A water hose still attached can snap a fitting worth $240. A vent left open can rip off in the wind, leaving a $460 hole in your roof. One missed latch on a compartment door can spill tools across the highway, costing far more than the hardware inside. Professionals call it the 60-second rule. 1 slow minute circling the rig before rolling. Check under, over, and around. Make sure jacks are up, slides are in, doors sealed, antennas down. Tug every cable, scan every tire, and glance beneath the frame for leaks or drips. It takes less time than securing a seatbelt and can save thousands. Insurance reports from rental fleets tell the same story. In the past year alone, over $3,200,000 in claims came from incidents linked to skipped walkarounds, stairs left down, stabilizers dragging, bikes falling from racks. 90% of those losses would have vanished with a single lap around the vehicle. One driver in Nevada learned it the hard way. He left early, towing a small car behind his motorhome. The hitch pin was not fully seated. 20 miles later, the tow bar disconnected on a curve. The car rolled into a ditch. Repair estimate: $11,840. One missing glance cost a season's travel budget. Make your walk-around a ritual. Do it in silence, free from distraction. Treat it like a pilot inspecting wings before takeoff. This is your aircraft, and the open road is your sky. The final walk-around is more than a checklist. It is a mindset. It forces patience in a lifestyle built on motion. That slow circle becomes a moment of control. A reminder that safety is not luck. It is awareness practiced daily. Because the truth is simple. The smallest circle around your rig prevents the biggest circle of regret around your wallet. 1 minute of caution will always outrun hours of repair. Every mistake here costs thousands. Don't make them twice. Drop a comment with your worst R-Vee horror story. Hit subscribe, and let's save more rigs before they break. Stay safe out there.